Hey everyone, good morning. Hi, this is Bami, founder of Inspire to Soul Limited. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, welcome again. Thank you for joining me this morning. My passion and my mission is to tend the broken wings of your dreams so that you can be inspired to soar above your troubles. Because here's the thing, I believe that dreams are like birds that require wings to fly, and often the challenges of life break or damage those wings. And all of a sudden, it's like your life has gone from bright and sunny to dark and gloomy. So my passion, my mission is to tend the broken wings of your dreams so that you can be inspired up to soar above your troubles. I want to help you find a fulfilling life in the aftermath of trauma or challenges that have turned your life upside down. So that is about me. So this morning, I want to talk to you about being audacious. Okay, I'll go back a little bit now. On the first of this month, as I was thinking about what I want this month to be like for me, I determined and I labeled this month the audacious month. You know, even the very act of labeling this month the audacious month for me was an audacious thing, to say the least. Because it's one thing for me to think of this month as the audacious month. It's another thing to share it with the world. Because, of course, as one who has, oh, good morning, whoever it is that joined me, I can't see your name, but thank you for joining me. So it was one thing for me to say, for me to think that I want this to be an audacious month. It was a very bold and risky move for me to declare it to the world. Because, of course, the doubts instantly creep in. So what if this your audacious month, you cannot even do anything risky or bold for that, at least for you? So those were the thoughts that went through my head. But then I thought, okay, you know what? I want this to be an audacious month, and I'm declaring it to the world. So what audacity, what being audacious means to me, it might be different to that of anybody else. So let's talk. I want to ask you a question. What does being audacious mean to you? If you're wondering, what do I even mean by being audacious? I looked for the dictionary definition of it after I defined it for myself. For me, I think it's a willingness, a boldness to do risky stuff, to take risky moves. Oh, Stauzo, good morning. It's a willingness to take risky and bold moves that people will think, you're off your trolley, you don't know what you're doing, and on and on and on. But here's the thing, what is audacious for you might be nothing to somebody else, or might be madness to another. But we were not created, you and I were not created to live mundane lives, to just sit in the comfort zone and not veer out of our comfort zone at all. And yet, majority of human beings spend most of their lives in their comfort zone. Why? Because it's safe. Why? Because it seems sensible. Why? Because they seek the opinion of others, and they buy into the opinion of others who are also living safe lives, who are also living quote and unquote sensible lives, who quote and unquote have all the parameters, all the trappings, who appear to have all the trappings of success. But what is success for somebody else might not necessarily be success for you. So I'll give you an example of a time when I took an audacious step. I recently visited a chiropractor for pain, for relief from long-term chronic pain. And the truth of the matter is, that was for me was an audacious move, because here's the thing, over the years I've seen consultants, I've been given painkillers, I'd even undergone physiotherapy and all of those things. And whilst those things gave me a measure of temporary relief, it didn't really address the underlying issue. So I remember I even asked my physiotherapist, and I said, what do you think about chiropractor? What do you think of chiropractors? Do you think they can help me or whatever like that? And of course it's like, oh, well, we don't really advise on things like that because there isn't any evidence to say that they work, blah, 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 and blah. And here's the thing, amongst the medical community and everything like that, chiropractors are not necessary. What's what I'm looking for? The opinion about the efficacy of chiropractors, it's not necessarily it's mixed. So most of the time doctors will say, oh, well, we don't really think it works, well, maybe it's a placebo, maybe it's all in your mind and all that stuff. But you know what, I realized that the physio was not working. I don't want to stay on strong painkillers for the rest of my life. I'm too young. So I thought, okay, you know what, I would. And after reading a bit more about from the testimonials of people who have tried chiropractors and everything like that, and I thought, okay, you know what, I will give it a shot. And that's the thing about bold and risky moves. Did I know whether it was going to work? No. Did I have certainty about what the outcomes will be? No. And that is the thing. For when it comes to audacious moves or whatever like that, there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. Oftentimes you don't have that much to fall back on in that sense, in terms of, like a safety net and all that stuff. So sometimes, okay, yes, in making audacious moves, you still have to be, the wisdom has to be applied and all of those things. But the truth of the matter is, like, when you decide to take bold and risky moves, there are no safety nets to let you know whether what you're embarking on is going to work or not and everything. But if you're convinced about it, and if you're determined to give it your best, to give it a shot, why not? Why wait for approval? Why wait for the opinion of the majority? Because the truth of the matter is, like, the majority, if the majority were taking audacious and bold steps, then those steps will no longer be called audacious anyway, because it will be a mainstream thing, it will be a regular thing, it wouldn't be risky because it's been tried and tested, this person has done it, that person has done it. But that is not what being audacious means. Being audacious means that you totally step out, you do that which you were afraid to do, that which you think you could never even tell anybody. And yet you know that your path for success, the kind of life you want, is along those lines. Then go for it. Now, what I want to talk briefly about some of the things I've learned. Okay, from this audacious move that I made, i.e. to the chiropractor and everything, I knew there were no guarantees of success, but I still did my homework. So I did some research on the local chiropractors in Swansea where I live. I looked at reviews and all of those things. I prayed about it, and then, only then, did I go forward and book the appointments and then went. And of course, with taking bold steps and everything like that, I've realized that it is important to keep an open mind, because a lot of the things you're going to hear, a lot of the things you're going to learn, a lot of the things that you're going to see will stretch you, will go against the norm, will go against your norm, will go against what is considered the mainstream expert opinion. But mainstream expert opinion does not necessarily work for everyone, because if it did, there would be no incurable diseases. There will be no medical problems that people cannot solve. There will be no emotional and psychological problems that cannot be solved. So, and that is the thing. Even experts get things wrong. Even the specialists, they get things wrong. So I figured, okay, I was prepared to keep an open mind. And do you know something? By going there with an open mind, I was able to learn. I learned quite a bit about my body, the things that I didn't pay attention to before, my posture, the little exercises I could do, the things I could do to help myself and improve my outcome. So that's the first thing about when you take audition, that at least that I've learned with or taking an audacious step. And I believe it applies in any situation, that when you're taking audacious steps, be prepared to keep an open mind so that your learning can be stretched, so that your thinking can be expanded, because that's the whole point of audacious steps, of bold moves, isn't it? It's to make your life better. You will not go and take audacious steps to remain in the same place, because that is not what it is. Taking audacious steps mean that you will totally come out of your comfort zone. You will step out of the boat of the familiar. So it's like, in a sense, a lot of your safety nets are removed. And the other thing I found as well is, like, when you're taking audacious steps as well, try and find other people who are taking audacious steps in their lives to share the experience with you. Now, when I say share the experience with you, I'm not talking about, oh yes, you're running every single thing by them, every decision by them. No, all I'm just saying is, don't do it alone. Because when you take audacious steps, it can be a very lonely experience. It can be a solitary journey and everything like that. And it can get wearing, especially when it takes time for you to see the results you desire. So, find someone who's close to you, or someone you know who is taking bold steps themselves, and get them to share that journey with you in some way. That way you know you're not going it alone. You know you're not isolated, and you're seeking encouragement as well. You're seeking encouragement because you encourage them and they encourage you too. So because encouragement, I believe, should be a two-way street. And that's the reason why I said that, why I made the statement that, can you share in the comments below with the rest of us one audacious step that you have taken recently, or that you are about to take? And let's encourage you. I want to cheer you on. I want you to cheer me on as well, because because I've had a couple of sessions with this chiropractor now, and I intend to take more sessions with him and everything. Oh, hi, thank you for joining me. Now, and I want you to cheer me on, and I want to cheer you on as you take your audacious steps, as you take your bold steps. Because in any area of your life, if you are not satisfied with the results you're getting, then you need to break out of the familiar. I will say that again. If you are dissatisfied with any area of your life, then taking bold steps, taking audacious steps is the way to go. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be comfortable? No. But it will be the making of you. It will mean the difference between being stuck and moving on, between being miserable and finding fulfillment, finding joy, or at least finding some measure of satisfaction. So I want to challenge you to take audacious steps and to join me on this in this month of August to take audacious steps. And I want you to share them with me, and I will be sharing mine with you as we go along on this journey to get to do audacious things, because the world is waiting. Because here's the other side of taking audacious steps and everything. Because, okay, let me talk about my own case. I know that for as long as I battle chronic pain. There are heights of achievement that I will not reach. There are things I will not be there are things that I will be hampered from doing. There are things I will not be able to effectively do. And what does that mean? That means that I will not be able to serve you guys well. I will not be able to serve those I've been called to. I will not be able to serve them well. And in effect, that means I will not live up to my true potential. So I knew it was in my own interest. And it is in the interest of my purpose, my potential, to take the audacious step of going to the chiropractor. Now, when I had my first session, I've got to tell you, I was stretched and pulled in so many ways, and I was in so much pain for the first couple of hours after I left. And this is the thing that my coach Carol Brunner said said in his book, The Deeper Path, that a lot of times we go through life numbing our pain, and that rather, why not face acute pain in the short term so that you can get rid of chronic pain? Okay, what does that really mean in practice? What that means in practice really is that if you're going through a difficult time in an area or whatever like that, that you might want to try stepping out of the boat of the familiar, take a step that might initially be more uncomfortable in the short term, and then in the long term give you the results that you want, give you the fulfillment that you want. So I'm going to ask you again, what audacious steps are you going to take in this month of August? I challenge you and I dare you. How's that? I'm challenging and daring you. Okay, yeah. Are you up for the challenge, or are you just willing to sit down, complain about what's not working, grumble? You know what? I don't have the energy or time for people who spend their lives complaining. I really don't. And some people might say, oh, that maybe that makes me an impatient person. Yeah, if the shoe fits, yes, then I wear it. But and let me clarify this. I don't have the patience for people who just want to complain and complain and complain and complain and complain. And yet when there are suggestions, when there are offers for them to do something about what they're complaining about, they refuse to take that. You're watching this video now, and I know you're definitely not in that category because you want to be inspired to soar. And that's why I am so grateful that you're watching this video. I'm so grateful that you're joining me at any time, whether on the replay or anything like that. So let's go into the rest of this month of August prepared to be bold. And it's one thing to talk about taking bold steps, taking risk, making risky moves. We can talk about them and we can dream about them, but that's not the real deal. The crunch time really comes when we act upon it. So all of the bold things that you've been talking about for years that you're going to do, all of the risks that you've been saying you were going to take, what happened to them? Did they ever see the light of day? Did they ever go beyond the realm of dreams? I want to challenge you. Take a step out today. Take a step out of the boat of the familiar today. Make today the day you determine that, you know what, I am not going to settle. I'm not going to settle for drudgery. I'm not going to settle for dissatisfaction in this area. I'm not going to settle for what's not working. I'm not going to just be complacent with what's not working. I am going to step out. I'm going to stop dreaming about these bold things I want to do. I'm going to stop daydreaming and dreaming my life away. And I'm going to start taking action. And I'm going to start taking the steps. So, we're going to be doing this together. I'm going to be sharing more about the audacious things, the bold things, the risky things I'm going to be doing over the course of this month. Of course, some of them are going to be crazy, are going to just be off the wall. Some of them might work, but some of them will work. And that's the thing. But I am going into this month, the rest of this month, with an openness, with a willingness to just make this, to make things work. And there are no certainties, there are no guarantees. But for as long as you are alive, for as long as you can breathe, you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to be audacious. You have the opportunity to be bold. So, let's get on with it. Let's do it. For more inspiring videos, please head over to the Inspire to Soar YouTube channel and subscribe so that when I make new videos, you'll be notified of them, and you can also see other videos, other more inspiring videos to encourage you to push through your limitations, to live an audacious life. And the other thing as well is like one of the most audacious things I've done was to write my book, because it's 3 parts memoir, and I share about, in a very open way, I share about very painful parts of my childhood and all of those things I never thought I would ever tell anybody, things that a lot of my friends didn't even know until they started reading about it. But it was the best thing I ever did. And the title of it is Navigating Your New Normal, a roadmap for life fulfillment after trauma. So it's 3 parts memoir and 1 part framework, and the framework is a 7-step framework to help you find fulfillment in the aftermath of troubles and challenges of life. The link is in the notes, so you can head over to Amazon and get your copy, and you will also see the reviews from those who have read it. So I want to challenge you again this week, this month. Do something audacious. Do it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we make things work. You put one foot. Thank you for that comment. We need to make things work. We need to put one foot in front of another and make a start. And the negative voices, because number one, of course, last week I talked about negative self-talk. You know, the video of that will be, if you are on this page, go to the previous video and you will hear what I had to say about negative self-talk, because a lot of times negative self-talk gets in the way of that as well. It gets in the way of us doing audacious stuff. So if you want to know how to combat, how to deal with negative self-talk, watch the video before this one, and also go and read the post I wrote on Thrive Global last week, and it's about serving eviction notice on my gremlin, because that's what I call the negative self-talk that I give myself, that stops me from doing the things I do want to do, the things that will improve my life. So until the next time, be inspired to soar, and don't forget, being audacious, you get to define what being audacious means to you. Nobody else can define it for you. But it is time for you to stop dreaming your life away. It is time for you to keep talking about it and not doing anything about it. It is time to act upon it. Take care, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for those of you who've joined me. Thank you for watching. Bye.